What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got a lot to talk about here in this video, including a lot of articles going on like this from the Washington Post and the Washington Gazette from Social Security payments for SSI, millions of SSI recipients to get two checks worth up to $652 next month. Also, multiple different states here pledging more stimulus money and tax refund checks here before the elections for millions of Americans. And two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner is set to serve hard time in one of Russia's penal colonies where abuse is common, disease is rampant, and forced labor is common. This is as there is a potential prisoner exchange for both her and a U.S. former Marine, Paul Whelan, but has not happened yet. So the two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan would be exchanged for the quote merchant of death, or also known as the Lord of War, Victor Bout, who is known as the one of the McDonald's of arms trafficking, who has supplied potential millions of armed goods and weapons for Russia around the world. Apparently, there's a Hollywood film about him called The Notorious Mr. Bout. I just learned that here. It has a 6.6 on IMDb. I have not seen it yet, but if you have, let me know in the comments section. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think this prisoner exchange should happen? If it was a 2-for-1, the two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, who's been in Russia prison for several years now, or do you think it should be no deal and they all should stay where they are and there should be no prisoner exchange? Yeah, a lot of mixed feelings on this. Yeah, it's really tough situation here. Okay, next up, Social Security payments. Millions of SSI recipients to get two checks worth up to $1,652 next month. Okay, first of all, if you guys know my channel, I'm all about the truth, and I like to show you guys articles on the screen so you guys can see it in black and white and know the details and know what you're seeing on the screen and know what you're reading, and it's not just hearsay. I like to show you guys multiple sources here all the time, and it's know that it's not just somebody talking here. I like to show you this. This is not something to get your hopes up about. This is not what some people, other sources on YouTube are maybe like hyping up here. It's not a double payment, unfortunately. I wish it was, guys. I wish it was. That's why you should really just watch my channel, because I'm going to just tell you guys the truth here. Like some of these other things we're going to go over here of other states actually sending out money, we're going to go over here in a second. These are legitimate, like, money being sent out here that we'll go over here in a second. This, unfortunately, is really just, and really, this is, from I think this is the Washington Gazette, and the Washington Post posted this stuff too. Some actually really big publications, not just YouTube. But here's the details on this, and you'll see why it's not really something to be excited about. SSI, Supplemental Security Income recipients, will be getting not one, but two payments in September of 2022, totaling up to $1,652. Okay, that's the maximum of $841 times 2 in September. Like I said, it's nothing to get. It's not a double payment like you would think, right? The first payment will be made on the start of the month on September 1st. Well, the second will be made on September 30th. So really, instead of like getting your October 1st payment on October 1st, you're really just getting it a day earlier on September 30th. Okay. September is one of only 2 months that give recipients two payments, the other being December. Okay. So you're not getting an extra payment. It's just the way the days of the month fall. You're just getting it. You're getting your October payment a day earlier on September 30th, according to the Social Security Administration. The two payments will each be worth $841, will be given to eligible individual recipients. For eligible couples, each couple will be given $1,261. This is because most payments throughout the year are given once a month. The exceptions to this are January, May, and October. And though you're not actually going to get a payment those months, you're going to get them the day before. So instead of getting a payment October 1st, you're going to get it September 30th. I hope that makes sense, guys. And that's why you come to my channel for the truth, because, and that's why I show you guys this stuff in black and white. That's why I show you my screen here. And again, that's why you guys have been subscribers here for a long time, and I don't charge you anything to watch my channel and all that good stuff, right? Okay, next up, $750 checks on the way to Colorado taxpayers, and $1,500 to married filing jointly. This is something to be excited about. We got multiple states doing this. If you've been watching my channel here, this is real money. This is legit money. Over 20 different states are doing this type of stimulus money, refund money, tax refund money, refund check, whatever type of wording you want to use here. I think stimulus check is the most known wording, but this is going on here all across the country in over 20 states now. And as the weeks go by, the amount of states are going up. Like next week, it's 21, 22, 23. It's just happening. It's just happening. Colorado taxpayers will soon receive at least $750 in the mail from a taxpayer Bill of Rights refund sent out on Monday. Around 3.1 million residents who filed state taxes by June 30th are expected to get $750 for individual tax filers and $1,500 for joint filers between now and the end of September. Let me know in the comment section if you've already received this. Some people may have already received this money. This is one of the bigger ones. I mean, up to $1,500 for married filing jointly. Going up now and the end of September, according to Governor Jared Polis. If you filed after June 30th and between October 17th, then you might get your check by January. Next up, Governor Kemp from Georgia pledges a second round of tax refund checks as he seeks re-election. As I said here, a lot of states are issuing more checks as they realize that they have more money in their kitty, in their coffers, and are sending out more money. This is as unemployment is at a 50-year low at 3.5%, and they're bringing in more and more money, more and more revenue every single month here. And some states are like, well, we're just holding on to our money for now. Hopefully, you guys, I'll see here soon. Hopefully, I have good news for you guys soon. But I'm just reporting to you guys the states as they're coming in, as the headlines are coming in here. Governor Brian Kemp announced Thursday he will seek a second round of tax rebate checks to Georgia taxpayers and the return of a state property tax break as well. In addition, the state income tax refund checks would be worth $250 to $500 per taxpayers and an average of $500 to homeowners in addition as well. So that could be a total of $1,000 in Georgia. So a potential 250 to 500 and up to $500 if you're a homeowner. So that's 250 to $500 single and married filing jointly for the 500 there. $500 to homeowners up to for homeowners as well. Both measures would be submitted for next year's budget if Kemp is reelected. Stacey Abrams has offered a mirror proposal for the same refund checks, but opposes the property tax break. Ooh. Georgia previously issued tax refund checks drawing from the state's surplus earlier this year. That $1.6 billion measure drew out of a $2.2 billion surplus, provided $250 to $500 checks as well. Georgia ran a surplus of about $5 billion for the 2021-2022 fiscal year that concluded at the end of June. In a call last month for more rebate checks, Abrams proposed repeating the structure of the first checks that went out this year. $500 for married couples, $375 for single filers with dependents, and $250 for single filers. Kemp's proposal also mirrors the earlier structure, $250, $375, and $500. So as you can see here, a lot of states realizing we got a lot of money in our state coffers. And a lot of states really have to have the billions of that they got from the stimulus package as well. Whether they're considering that money or the state surplus money, to me, to you, it should be neither here nor there. Money's money, right? If you got 5 billion sitting there and 5 billion sitting from the surplus money, and you got 10 billion, I mean, just coming from a business person, you should be like, okay, we got 10 billion. We know we have to keep some billions in reserve. You can't run it down to zero because it's just not smart business. How are you going to pay for water main breaks and police funding and ambulance funding, roads, bridges? You can't run your bank account to zero if you're a government. Okay, you just can't. Okay, how would you pay for personnel? How would you pay for anything, right? So you got to keep money in reserve because you have to pay bills. It's just common sense, right? Especially if you're the government. Okay, you have literally payroll every week. Okay, so you got to keep some money in reserve, and if you're literally a state, you got to think, okay, we might be spending a couple $1 billion a year, depending on the size of your state. If you're California, you could be spending, I don't know off the top of my head, but they could be spending 30 or $50 billion a year. Okay, they have a $100 billion surplus. I don't know. It could be $80 billion a year at this point or something like that. Okay. But if you have a $10 billion surplus and you're spending $5 billion a year, you could be like, okay, we have a $5 billion, we have a 1 year surplus, but we can also look at how much we're spending and be like, well, we have a 1 year surplus, but we also can see how much money we have coming in every month. And we can look at that trajectory and be like, okay, we can issue another check because how bad inflation right now is. We look at 60% of people and say, okay, look how many people are hurting right now. And personally, I think a lot of these checks should be adjusted because a lot of these checks they're sending out to people to that make $200,000 and stuff like that. I don't think they need to do that. I think they could lower that. I mean, at the bare minimum, they could cut that in half to people making $100,000, especially in states like Georgia, Alabama, all states like that. If you live in New York or California, it's different than like if you live in Texas. Like you live in Texas, you could buy a $300,000 home, and it's like a really nice home, right? In Texas, everything is bigger for the price, right? If you live in New York City, or if you live in Los Angeles, $300,000, you can't even buy a shoebox, right? You kind of know where I'm going here, right? You just can't. The prices there are just outrageous. So if you make $100,000 in New York City, you can't literally buy a home. You can't. So they're making $100,000. You need a check, right? It's just not, you're like almost at the poverty level, like not quite, but like you get where I'm going here. So like you have to different states have different adjustments for income there, but some of these states like issuing checks to people making $200,000 and stuff, and then $400,000 for married couples. It's like they could cut that down a little bit, and this way they're not sending checks to people who don't need it. I mean, everybody can use money, right? But this way they're not sending out an excess amount of money. You let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but I'll keep up to date here. There's really every single week we have new money like that coming out, new programs from the government, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, SNAP assistance, student loan forgiveness, new programs for the low income, and daily news, what's going on here with our country on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon and the like button. All that's free to do so, and it makes it so you won't miss out on new videos. I'll keep you up to date here with everything in our country on a daily basis. You can click here to watch the newest video on Social Security raises and new updates. And you can click here to see the new bill just signed by Biden and $15,000 some of our viewers are getting as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.